So let's look at what are some potential YAML files for our deployment and service. Here in this directory, I've prepared a deployment and service YAML file, and let's take a look at them and walk through some of the configurations that you might have. And to preface really quick, YAML files are configuration files, and that means it's very open-ended on what you can choose to have configured and how you structure it. What this means is that your solution doesn't have to look exactly like mine. As long as it serves the same purpose, it should be fine. So feel free to play around with some potential configurations that you may think would be useful for your own use cases in your YAML files. To walk through here, we want to have our deployment specified in the deployment YAML file, and we want to give it a name so that we can reference it. We set the number of replicas that we want, and we choose to have two, so we have two pods that are created to handle our horizontal scaling. Now, an important piece here is down here in the containers. Over here, you can see that we have the container specified, where we define the container registry where we want to have the Docker image pulled from. So as you can see here, this points to the Docker hub for my Docker image that I want created in the pods. Some other configurations here might be a liveliness probe, where I have an endpoint that an API consumer can reach to verify that my application is still healthy. And by using something like liveness probe, I can configure Kubernetes so that it has a better understanding of what constitutes a healthy pod versus a pod that is having issues. Some other considerations you might have include setting the compute resources for what your pod would be running on, potentially limiting the amount of memory and CPU that you would be using. Taking a look at our service YAML file, we can see that we have some configurations set up, such as the name of the service, and we have the pods that it would run against. And this is what binds our service to our deployment. And we've specified here that when we have this service abstracting the pods, we should have our service exposed over port 80 accepting inbound requests.